Child of Iris, coming crisis. You're invited to come down. Silver skin cells, simply held in a cradle, hopefully found. And if you're honest with me, if you aren't alone, then just give me what I need. Tell me, where am I so sorry, that's my story. I know less than most do. the chains that you pull away. I feel the fear when you look at me. But we've had enough of love. Is this not enough? Let me in your eyes. Feel it deep inside.
So many whispers flying round, unbroken wings deafening. But I hide my head from the sound, so tired of listening. I let my mind just drift away, with perfect thoughts left ignored. But now I'm begging you to stay. I see the moon break. Oh,
from east to west, heroes are set, seeking glory in the greatest of events. There are knights on noble steeds, those who will bring them to their knees. There are monsters to test their mettle at every turn. Legends will rise based on their merits. There's even pirates riding parrots. It's the grand tournament.
All right, guys, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Star Series Hearthstone Season 1 Last Chance Qualifier. So we've got a pretty good season so far, but right now, after a lot of people have been eliminated, we're going down to the last people who are going to attend the finals in October. I'm Monk, and joined with me for the first time in a while is Masan. How are you doing today, Masan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's been a while since you've been casting or playing. It's kind of a nice vacation from that, but you're back with us once again.
Yeah, I've casted with you the Invent Invitational a few months back, but yeah, I don't think I've cast anything after. So yeah, good to be back. And excited for the match. First match is, I believe, Kolento versus Zalae. Am I correct on that?
Oh yeah, Kolento versus Zalae. We saw some pretty interesting matches from Zalae yesterday. You can see the bracket here. Kolento got a forfeit win off of Forsen because Forsen couldn't attend. I think he's in Irvine right now. Life Coach also couldn't play his match yesterday, and so he took a forfeit win. Or rather, Osaka took a forfeit win. So for today, we're gonna start off with Kolento versus Zalae, and we're just gonna go down the entire bracket. Kucha versus the winner of that, then Cypher versus the winner of that. The winner of all the series of matches will go to the LAN finals in October. And on the other side of the bracket, we're gonna have Osaka versus Surrender, Firebat versus the winner of that, Lostov versus the winner of that series, and that winner will go to the LAN finals as well. So definitely a really tough series of matches for our first series of players: Kolento, Zalae, Osaka, and Surrender.
Yep. Sorry, I think I was disconnected for a second. I'm back, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right, great.
Yeah, so Kolento versus Zalae is definitely going to be our first match for today. It's as I mentioned yesterday, it's kind of like a battle between the best player in North America, kind of, if you go by the Hearthstone World Championship points, versus one of the best players in Europe. Zalae finished rank 1 in terms of Hearthstone World Championship points in the North American region, and unfortunately, he got eliminated from the qualifiers with an 0-6 score. Not really indicative of his true skill potential. On the other hand, Kolento, he's obviously like one of the best players in Europe, and I believe he finished either number 2 or number 3 in the European region. So pretty good for him as well.
Yep. I wonder if that has to do with the zealous inability, inflexibility with the decks, or could be just bad luck as well. Kolento has always shown the great skills and great deck building as well as deck choosing ability. But Zalae, I don't believe he has proven himself in tournaments yet. He has proven himself on ladder multiple times over and over and over with his particular strong point being Patron Warrior. I think he has a really great win rate with that. But yeah, I'm really excited to see rank 1 versus rank 2 clashing each other from different regions.
Oh yeah, certainly. And not only that, but on the other side of the bracket, we have Surrender, who's actually the rank 1 player from Korea. Right? He finished with around, I know you're familiar with the region, Masan, but I think Surrender finished with about like 500 Hearthstone World Championship points in his region, which is kind of ridiculous.
I know. And the first one, whoever was in first in Europe, I think he had around 300 points. Am I right?
Yeah.
And yeah, this Surrender guy just beat everything, and he somehow accumulated 500 points. So being first on ladder gives you 60 points. So, like, practically this guy was getting first in ranked season every single time. That's really insane.
Yeah, I think he got rank 1 legend on the Asia server twice in a row, and that's pretty impressive considering Asia has more players than any other server. And typically, like the legend ranks go to like the 4,000s in Asia, right, Masan?
Actually, I don't think that's actually true. I think the European ladder has the most people on, at least on the legendary pool. The Asian server usually get up to the last season, for example. I think you got up to 2,000, 2,500. So it has more legend than NA, but not more than EU, as far as I know.
Okay, well,
But Chinese server is different. That server goes like that. I've seen some numbers. I've seen some crazy numbers in Chinese server. I think I've seen something like 7,000 legendaries or more.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I think like it just in Hearthstone, China has like more players than like any other country by far. It has like 1/4 the population of like Hearthstone players in the
know.
world. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's good. It's good that Chinese Hearthstone is growing.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk a bit more about our first match of the day, Zalae versus Kolento. Masan, you're on Kolento's team. Do you have any insight onto like how much he prepared for this tournament, and do you know like what he's going to be bringing today?
I actually have no information on what he's actually bringing today. I do have some information based on what he brought on the BlizzCon qualifier. However, those were not particularly my favorites. Like he brought mid-range Paladin, he brought the. I mean, he obviously has been really strong with the Druid recently, so I think he's going to bring that. And
Yeah,
Patron is a very potent.
He also
So I
brought
do not know.
he
Go
also
ahead.
brought a Malagos Warlock, which was pretty interesting choice to the BlizzCon World Championship qualifiers. Yeah, certainly like an interesting series of decks because pretty much everyone in those qualifiers was bringing Patron, they were bringing Druid, and they were bringing Handlock. Kolento decided to mix it up a bit, but unfortunately he didn't qualify from that. So we're gonna have our first match.
No, it's a
first
little
match today.
unfortunate.
Druid versus Druid. Masan, I know a lot of players really love this matchup because of the great skill involved in drawing wild growth. What's your opinion here?
Well, I do agree that whoever draws the wild growth or the aspirant first has huge advantage. But I think it has a little more into it than that. 'Cause I think it actually has to do with how you build your deck. The Kolento has really consistent decks. I think there are two variations of the Druid decks out there. One is the one without any conditional cards like Big Game Hunter or Mind Control Tech, and one Kolento's usually brought in past couple tournaments is the one. Did I say one with or without? Yeah, there are two variations. One with the one without, and Kolento's bringing one without the win conditions or any conditional cards, which means that you're going to be in a little bit of sneaky, weird position if you don't ramp up early on, and then your opponents boom innervate Dr. Boom, and then you're going to be trouble. But otherwise, you have a little more consistency within the early game.
Yeah, well, speaking of this particular game, I know, Masan, you're having a few difficulties watching the game right now, but I'm going to tell you, Zalae, he used 2 wild growths in the early game. Meanwhile, Kolento, he hasn't drawn any wild growths, nor any Darnassus aspirants, and he's had to play BGH on turn 3, so I would have to say one player is in probably a slightly better position than the other. Masan is going to try to fix the screen from his end, but in the meantime, Zalae's in a pretty interesting position. This BGH is actually surprisingly effective. Zalae actually just really wants to play the Druid of the Claw just as a 5-drop, but the 4 damage from the BGH is like even better than what you would typically see. So he's going to go with the play that allows him to ramp up a bit more. Okay, now
I'm actually surprised that Zalae decided to draw instead of playing aspirant. Yeah. What do you think about that? Like, is that not worth to ramp up early on? Although you're gonna be missing a mana, I guess, if you try to ramp up next turn. However, things like that is tricky. Like right now, the Zalae is forced to go for a swipe and hero power to kill the Emperor Thurston, while Kolento has a great advantage on mana curve.
Yeah, it just seems like even though Zalae got like probably arguably the much better start with double walled growth, he's kind of like going to be fighting from behind here. And if he had throw down the aspirant along with his wrath the last turn, he could have done something along the lines of if he drew Ancient of Lore or if he drew Dr. Boom, he could have played it on turn 7.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which it didn't, so I guess it did not end up mattering too much.
Yeah. The
You would have
problem.
done 2 face damage for free, but that would have been about it.
Yeah. Well, the problem here is if Zalae tries to clear this board with swipe, then he's going to be fighting from behind in board position the entire time. Not what you want as the Druid player. And because of that, Kolento will probably be like he will take the aggression every single time. Especially with the
Oh, no.
Emperor Thorzen discounts, he won't probably miss his curve at all for the rest of the game even.
No, I don't think so. And now Kolento has saved up 7 mana total with the Imperial Terrorist saving up the 7 cards. Well, from the including last turn, that is. So he's a Zero Drake, costs 3 mana. Wow. And oh, cool, Imperial. All right.
Yeah, he gets a pretty
So
nice
Zilla
swipe.
did end up cleaning it up pretty fairly.
Yeah, Masad, I don't know if you remember, like, back in the old days when Azure Drakes were pretty much one of the best 5 drops in the game, and every deck ran them. And basically, the only way Druid could come back from a game was with Azure Drake Swipe. And now with decks running double Darnassus Aspirant, Azure Drakes have become, like, rotated back into the metagame. All decks are pretty much running at least one. And some decks are running 2. It's becoming way more common. So these kind of comeback plays are way more possible from Druid.
True, it does add a lot of consistency because often Druid just purely relies on the Ancient of Allure being drawn, and if you don't draw it, and you're kind of stuck in the phase where you don't do really anything besides the hero powering. And with the introduction of a Zero Drakes back in meta, you won't have that problem as much.
Yeah. Just overall, after TGT, Druid feels like a way more consistent class. A lot of its weaknesses
definitely.
with like aggro, right, are mitigated by the fact that there is the Darnassus Aspirant, and there is also way more card draw from the Azure Drakes, like you mentioned.
Now here, would you use Force Nature's, I mean Saboteur and Druid Claw, you think, and try to clear as much as possible? Because if Force Nature Saboteur, he knows that Emperor Terrorist has given him great mana curve. Oh, he's doing it. So he's going to clear it entirely.
Yeah, I like it because it's a position where you're kind of behind on board, but you realize you have way more cards than your opponent. You have the card advantage. So if you can somehow try to go for a grinding plan, this would be actually really great. But oh man.
Wow, yeah, had he not cleared it, this would have been the game because Force Nature Saboteur actually was strong.
Yeah, but even though he cleared, he's in a pretty rough spot. I mean, he needs a taunt in the next few turns, or he's just gonna get blasted by the combo. The combo right now it's 15 damage.
It's 20 damage. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, 15 damage. I'm saying with the like with the hero power, and if the Twilight Drake gets cleared, and I'm pretty sure that this Twilight Drake is, or rather, the Azure Drake is going bye.
Yeah, it'll be cleared definitely with the root draw. Now, would you play Shadowed Nox Remus or go for Shredder? Because you need something quick, right? You wanna be able to clear your opponent. You want to be able to have the board control from now and on throughout the game. Otherwise, you're kind of dead to any Force Nature Saboteur combo. So, is a Shadowed Nox Remus actually worth playing right now? Is a good question.
Yeah, it's actually a really great question. I think I would probably go for the more power in the next few turns. Like, if you don't play the Shredder here, you're going to be left with a 3-attack minion. And having a 3-attack minion could be the difference between whether you can clear your opponent's board or not.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Here comes the chase from Kolento, though, and Zilla has nowhere near combo. Like, he doesn't have any piece of combo pieces. So Zilla actually needs to draw into either heal or taunt right now, or he is dead.
Swipe actually would have done it as well, but unfortunately, that's not going to be it. Yeah, with the combination of swipe and hero power, he would have survived.
Kolento does have a combo that will be 19 damage coming up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so from Zalae's perspective, he's like, as long as you don't have combo, I think I can survive to the next few turns. But he's also realizing that Kolento, he hasn't played a lot of his hand over the last few turns. So I think this is completely not unexpected from Zalae. And there it is. Druid wins the game yet again.
I like how Zilla just decided not to hero power even. to have that one extra health. Usually, Force Nature Salvador does a 14 damage, and with the Imperial Terrorism, you can expect up to 15 damage on empty board. But he decided, oh, if he has a combo, I'm dead anyway, so I'm just gonna go for it. I don't think he will attack with the Shared Noxdrama, so he decided to just go for power play, which it did not matter. First game goes to Kolento. And do we know the second deck of Zalae yet?
We don't, but I just want to talk about Zalae's other decks. Obviously, he's going to be bringing Patron, his kind of signature deck, but his third deck's actually really interesting. It's a Dragon Handlock. Have you ever heard of something like that, Masan?
Dragon Handlock. I've actually seen his match versus Lothar. That was very interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like a Dragon Handlock versus Malagos Hunter, right? It's pretty insane.
Oh yeah, that was insane. I'm not sure if the Malagos Hunter actually have a good win rate in tournament setting, or it was something he just brought up for a fun factor.
Malagos Hunter.
But it was fun regardless to just watch.
I'm pretty confident it's never been used in a tournament setting before.
No, I believe not. But it's he's a part of one of the best teams in Helium out there.
Yeah.
So he might have gotten a few words from RDU or Dice or Life Coach.
Yeah. Kolento, he's going to be bringing Secret Paladin, and it's one of his stronger decks, I feel. He brought this to the Onog finals back in the end of August, and he did pretty well with it. He did so well that there were some like internet issues at the Onog tournament at PAX Prime, but he did so well that he had to replay a game 3 times of Secret Paladin versus Patron, and in all 3 games he was winning.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, he won the series and he won those games anyway, so it didn't matter too much.
He ended up winning winning entire thing. So.
Well, no, he got second place, but still pretty good.
Who got the first in there?
It was Tom 60229.
Oh yeah. I remember that. All right. Sorry for the confusion. And here you definitely go for Cockhammer.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good Divine Shield that you got there.
Mm-hmm.
So question:
would you use the Divine Shield and lose 1 health there, or would you just lose the Divine Shield and use the 2/3 and the Secret Keeper? You do have a Secret in your hand, so I'm actually a little looking forward to see him using Divine Shield and 1 of the health.
Yeah. So if the obvious play here is just to use the Divine Shield from the Knife Juggler and leave both the minions at 1 health. It doesn't play too much around Whirlwind, but I think you're like somewhat okay if he Whirlwinds here. Your board isn't that threatening, right? And there could be much more higher value Whirlwinds in this matchup, especially.
Oh yeah, I see a Shield Slam in Zella's control. Well, in Patron Warrior, I haven't seen a card in Patron in a while actually.
I think these days Shield Slam is actually pretty common in Patron Warrior. The most common list these days runs 2 shield blocks and 2 shield slams, and I found that it really helps certain matchups, like it really helps Hunter matchups, it really helps Zoo, and it really helps against Rogue. I've been collecting statistics, and I've noticed that throughout the past few months, Patron Warrior, the matchup of Patron Warrior versus these aggro decks and Rogue have increased significantly with the addition of shield blocks and shield slams, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because otherwise, the Rogue will just clear your board, and you just don't have enough time to expand on board and draw.
Yeah. From this play, Kolento sees that he definitely made the right decision, because with the other play, it would have been essentially equivalent, except he would not have the Secret Keeper up right now.
Exactly. And this matchup, though, usually is favored by Patron Warrior.
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, it's just these weak minions that Patron just thrives on killing, and we know that it's very possible that as long as Zalae can stabilize up till turn 8 or turn 7 with the coin, then he'll just like take complete control of the game with the combination of Warsong and Grim.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Now here, would you say obvious play is Execute and Frothing Berserker? Because you don't really need 2 Berserkers. You can just throw 1 down and then try to pick up on either Grim Patron or the second Berserker and try to win. Not to mention, you don't want to be holding onto too many cards in this matchup because your opponent will likely just go for Divine Favor. And if your opponent goes for if Paladin gets 5 or 6 more cards with a Divine Favor, the matchup is actually not that favored by Patron Warriors, as far as I know.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, with this strong of a board plus Divine Favor, you're not looking to go for... It's not going to be a good time. So Zalae goes to the play you suggest. Wow, Basan, you're a pretty good patron player yourself.
Patron has given me a very difficult time, actually, in the past.
Oh, man. 4 Divine Shields will be coming up on the
Oh,
board.
wow.
Blood Knight
And
value.
Hero Power. And he's going to be able to clean this up pretty easily using Weapon and 2/2 Divine Shield, Argent Squire.
You know, even though some classes would struggle dealing with these Divine Shields, dealing with the bubbles, and Warrior is actually typically one of those classes back when Control Warrior was kind of the dominant Warrior archetype, I think Zalae is actually pretty happy here because even though these are Divine Shielded minions, it means that the mana cost into summoning these minions also takes into account the attack value. So normally if these didn't have Divine Shield, they would be like much higher attack value, but now with this kind of board,
expansion,
yeah,
Inner Rage, killing Whirlwind on top, so it takes out all the Divine Shield and kills off the 1/1. However, your board actually is not stronger than Paladin's. You just took out the Divine Shield, that's it, pretty much, and your board will be likely cleared. Oh, actually, it's I guess it wouldn't be fully cleared.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
There's actually no way to clear this fully
Kolento
unless
does not have a way to kill the second patron.
yeah,
That is at full health.
he basically needs either the True Silver or a Blessing of Kings, something like that, basically. Something that does an extra 3 damage.
And only card he drew is the worst card to draw right now in this entire deck. Oh man.
Yeah, especially since there's War Song Commander.
Oh yeah.
And Battle Rage.
And he uses it, so his board will be fully cleared, and Zilla will draw lots of cards.
I think if Zalae could like choose his hand right now, he would be like, I want a War Song Commander and a Battle Rage. Those would be the exact 2 cards that I want.
Oh yeah. Now, are you worried about drawing too many cards? So would you go for 3 to 4 cards of Battle Rage instead of 5 here?
Oh yeah. Kolento doesn't even try. He knows this is over.
It was just no way to come back from that point.
Yeah, and I think
score goes to 1-1.
I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, Patron Warrior was obviously going to be favored in that matchup, but I think Paladin is going to take a win off no matter what. I think it's favored against Druid. I think it's probably favored against the Dragon Paladin as well. It might even, like, what would you say? Or sorry, the Dragon Warlock. Would you say like the Dragon Warlock is better against Secret Paladin than a standard Demon Handlock?
I would say it has Twilight Drakes. I mean, it has Twilight Guardians, right? Or does it not?
Twilight Guardians.
If you have Twilight Guardians, you have certainly better matchup. I actually do not know exact win rate between these 2 classes. It's gonna be all comes down to Bloods and Kings.
Yeah.
Because without Bloods and Kings, your board would be really easily wiped with cards like Hellfire or any sort of board clear, or just having a taunt that has really high health is very, very threatening against Paladins.
Yeah, it's not like these lists run equality at all. Most of these lists cut the equality, especially the kind of low incurring lists that Kolento seems to be running. It seems to be like he's running a Divine Favor list.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Dr. Boom or Tyrion in his list, or even Consecrate. A lot of people actually cut one Consecrate to just add in second Sacred or second Blessing Kings.
Yeah. So an interesting thing we can do right now is we can kind of imagine that this Twilight Guardian is a Void Caller, and we can imagine any additional dragons that he draws are like dragons, and we can, or rather, any dragons that he draws are like Jaraxxus or Melganis or Doomguard, and we can kind of imagine like what would be better when it comes to like turn 4. Would the Twilight Guardian be better, or would the Or would the Void Caller be
In
better?
average, I would say Twilight Guardian is better. In average, I would say Twilight Guardian is better, unless there's a Blessing Kings, in which the Kolento does have it. In that case, the Void Color is definitely better.
Double Twilight Guardian, interesting.
Double Twilight Guardian, which will be wiped out easily with the Blessing Kings, unfortunately.
I think it's totally all right to just go for the Twilight Drake here. You don't care particularly about taunts right now, and you want to be really effective against anything that your opponent can bring. Like this play,
especially with the Sunfury Protector and Molten Giant in your hand, you're not particularly worried about going down to 10 or 15 0. You just want to trade efficiently early on, and then by the time your opponent runs out of cards, you want to keep on throwing taunts.
Yeah, so with that play, he tanked a little more damage from a Silverhand Recruit and also a weapon hit. But Zalae is not going to be happy now. If you just play the Twilight Guardian, it gets cleared immediately by the board. That being said, though, something that's nice for Zalae is not only does he have a Molten Giant in his hand, which is definitely one of the keys in the matchup, but he also has a Chill Maw. I think that will be really effective in the coming turns.
Oh yeah, and he's definitely going to survive until turn 7 with a Molten Giant and Sunfury Protector. Unless there is Mr. Challenger in field. And there it is.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Kolento just drew how many cards? 3, 4, 5 cards. So he refills his hand. Next turn he's ready to go with the Mr. Challenger. And then another Mr. Challenger on turn 7. Oh man, Zilla actually is all of a sudden looking pretty bad spot.
Oh, I would say so. And wow, that R&B gal is just a little too late, and you can see the frustration in Zalae's face.
A turn too late.
It's not even that effective now.
No, it's not.
I mean, you could silence the shielded mini bot, but what does that really do? Zalae is definitely looking for the Hellfires.
Just as good as a Twilight Drake, which is problematic. So he decided to go for a draw. And what does he get? Ancient Watcher. Oh boy.
Ancient Watcher.
The Twilight Guardian just in at best case scenario just trades with a 6/3, which it wouldn't be too bad if there were no Mr. Challenger.
Yeah, and worst case scenario.
Turn 6.
Worst case scenario actually is that like another Blessing of Kings or something like that.
Oh, worst case scenario is the worst case. I'm sorry, worst case scenario for Kolento. I'm sorry, I'm same team with him. So, but we know that that's not going to happen. But yes, the best case scenario is what I meant for Zalae.
Yeah.
So how does Kolento decide to clean this up? He can actually clean this up by using Knife Juggler, Mr. Challenger, and possibly one of he decided to just trade. It's good to have more than a couple of minions on the field with Mr. Challenger, because you know you're gonna get the competitive spirit. Actually, no, you're not gonna get competitive spirit because you just drew one, sadly, and he already used one early on.
Yeah, I think you're alright with getting this many secrets on the board, even though you can't get the competitive spirit. And now, oh man, Zalae, I'm not even sure.
Really tough. At least Zilla can go for. I'm actually surprised that Kolento decided to bring him down to 12, which is the turn you can play Molten Giant, and Sunfury Protector. In which, if it done, Kolento would not be easy for Kolento to get through.
I think
Zilla has something not as efficient, but something close to it, which is Ancient Watcher, Molten Giant, and Sunfury Protector for 6 mana.
Yeah. I think the thing is that even if Zalae has like the God Draw, which is the Sunfury, the Molten Giant, and the Molten Giant, he's alright because first of all, you have Repentance, which reduces the first Molten Giant to 1 health. And not only that, but your board is strong enough to just like bust through that without equality whatsoever.
Yeah. Man, this board will be so easily cleaned up. But then Kolento would not have too much things on board either.
Yeah. I no. Well, he still has the second mysterious challenger to ever
Yeah,
refill the
very
secrets
true.
when they die off. Um, Again, this is kind of like Zalae's trump card, the Molten Giant, and after that, he really doesn't have too much. He doesn't even have a dragon to go along with this chill maw for the dragon synergy. Uh, Handlock is typically a deck that's known for doing a lot of unfair things, but this is certainly not going to be one of those games. Like after the first Molten Giant is cleared off, Zalae is going to be running like a kind of like a really bad normal deck, like a worse version of Druid, if you may.
Oh man. I guess. Well, actually, if a Zalae draws into Dragon here, would it be still bad form? Because Chelma is gonna clean up almost everything except for 6/6.
Well, he would still die because
Oh yeah, that's still not enough.
yeah, because
he only has 3 health,
yeah, pretty much all the minions
2
would,
health now.
would
Oh,
bust
boy.
through the board, and then you have the mysterious challenger plus a true silver. So, I think this is pretty much it.
Secret Paladin.
Yeah, and this
Yep,
is
I don't see any way for him to come back.
this is just the strength of Secret Paladin. It punishes bad draws. And to come to think of it, Zalae's draw wasn't even that bad. He had
No.
he had Twilight Drake on 3 into Twilight Guardian into Twilight Guardian plus the Mortal Coil. But Kolento's hand just like countered that completely.
Oh yeah. I guess even life tapping once is enough for Paladins to get out of control with the Divine Favors and Mixer's Challengers. I think it just plays against itself, though. Often you just draw into all your secrets early on, and your Mistress Challenger won't do much. But then that was not the case. He drew, except for competitive spirit, he did not draw that many secrets.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's kind of just like a lot of this matchup is about how well the Paladin draws. We saw in the first game against Patron, Paladin didn't really draw well at all. It drew like all the divine shields, all the like the small minions that couldn't really threaten the Patron warrior. Whereas in this game, he curved out perfectly. He had a Blessing of Kings at exactly the right time, and he had a really great divine favor and a really great mysterious challenger, which are kind of the two trump cards in the matchup.
The strength point of the Dragon Warlock is not against Paladin, though. It's against Patron warrior, which we're about to see.
Yeah, you feel like the Dragon Warlock even has a better matchup against Patron Warrior than the Demon Handlock or Standard Handlock, simply because of that Chilmaw, and not only that, the Twilight Guardian.
Twilight Guardian is chill now, and the problem with the Dragon Warlock is that your Void Color is not necessarily going to be triggered, and it's another minion on board that will give extra damage to Frothing Berserkers. So it actually makes you more vulnerable early on. Well, mid game, not early on, to be bursted down from around 20 health.
Yeah. And not only that, but Zalae still has the Twilight Drakes. He still has the Mountain Giants to pressure Patron early on. It's just too many
Oh
taunts.
man! Double Mountain Giant, double Twilight Drake, a Molten Giant, and Sumpir Protector. Can Zalae ask for better hand, please? Wow. I don't think I've seen a better hand than this for a while.
So in this scenario, Masan, what would you play here? A Twilight Drake,
Twilight Drake versus
maybe to bait out the execute?
bait out
or-
the execute, yes.
Okay.
And then next turn you can still go for Lifetime and Mountain Giant. That is if you want to.
I want to, Masan. I want it.
Kolento decides to go for an axe instead of a slam. What do you think about that, actually?
I
So I would
think
have actually considered a lot before playing axe.
I actually think that makes
execute,
sense.
In my opinion.
I
So you want
probably-
to cycle as much as possible, as soon as possible against him.
Yeah. I agree, but I think Kolento predicted this type of play from the Molten Giant. Typically, the Handlock player will throw out the Twilight Drake to bait out slams or executes. But with this play, if he gets the second execute, which he drew into, fortunately, he doesn't have to put his face into the Mountain Giant, and he doesn't have to
Oh
get
yeah,
Zama Smith.
definitely.
So that actually worked out
Especially
really
with the
well
second
from
execute.
Kolento. Yeah, worked out really well. I think I would have personally gone for the slam as well, but you can definitely see the merit of Kolento's play. And it definitely turns out really well. So nice play by Kolento, as always.
Now, the threat of Henlock has not ended yet. He still has a Twilight Drake. He still has a Mountain Giant. And he also has a double Hellfire. Now, oh my goodness. Did I ask for the... Can I ask for a better hand? Now he has it.
Yeah.
With a double Sunfear Protector, double Molten Giant, double Hellfire, double Twilight Drake, double Mountain Giant opening against a Patient Warrior. Wow. If Kolento wins this, I'll be very, very amazed.
Yeah. As good as his hand is, like this is kind of first world problems where your hand is too good, and you're not really sure what to play.
Oh, exactly. I don't even know if I would have owled that. Like, you have so many good answers in your hand already that you might actually want to bait out. I guess he's actually playing around the battle rage by killing Ghoul first. So that actually makes a lot of sense. Now, Kolento's hand is really not too interesting. You can Emperor Terrorison.
Yeah, he really is looking for the card draw at this point of the game. Emperor Thorazane,
Which he doesn't have at the moment. He has a lot of pain, but would you just rather... There's nothing that you can play along with it.
Yeah, well, I think typically you wouldn't want an Emperor. It's just this hand is not that great for an Emperor. You typically want to reduce like 2 or 3 things with the Emperor Thorazane that you need for your final burst combo. And that burst combo includes like Warsong, Patron, 1 or 2 Frothing Berserkers, and the Whirlwind. So right now, he discounted his entire hand, but the only relevant parts are the 2 combo pieces. So he's going to have 6 mana for his combo, and he's not going to have an Emperor reduction for the remainder of the game. So he's going to have 4 mana to combo with, and that means he pretty much can't fit in 2 Frothing Berserkers. So with this Emperor
you can.
play...
However, you don't need the 2 Frothing Berserkers against Handlock. You only need the 1 at most, in my opinion. Especially with the Green Patron combo. You're going to have so many... Like, the Green Patron, Inner Rage, and Whirlwind alone against Handlock, or board you have, should be enough damage to bust Handlock from even 20 health, in my opinion.
Yeah. At the same time, though, because we know Zalae has taunts for days, you typically need a Frothing Berserker to kill one of those taunts as well. And Zalae's, like, Kolento's not going to get that. He's not going to get the second Frothing. But right now, Kolento might be worried more about whether he's going to survive the next few turns, because there's no clear for this Mountain Giant for a while, unless he wants to sacrifice his own health with the Death Spite, and he wants to sacrifice a combo piece with the Inner Rage.
Oh, no. That's what he ended up doing.
Oh, he's going...
Oh, no,
aggressive.
he doesn't. All right, so he goes for a really aggressive move, which will not pay off too much. Unfortunately, not with the Zalae's hand. He can just go for Life Tab and Double Molten Giant with a Sunfear Protector. And what does Kolento have after? He can't even just clear the Acolyte Pen. He doesn't have to go face with a Mountain Giant because you have lethal already next turn. And you know that the Kolento does not have any executions left in the deck, so
yeah,
I believe that is a winning move.
That's a pretty heads-up play. I don't think many people would notice that. Zalae, I think the only thing he's worried about right now is, does Kolento run Brawl in this deck? And just judging from what Zalae knows about Kolento and what we know about Kolento, there probably isn't going to be a Brawl. I've pretty much never seen Kolento throw in a Brawl in one of his Patron decks.
No, I don't think he runs that. He doesn't like those conditional cards, including Brawl, I don't think, in any of his decks. Except for Became Hunter, I suppose, and Druid is pretty typical.
Yep.
And, well, this is it.
Well, his first draw is Warsong Commander.
It's Battle Rage. So you can try to draw 2 cards with it. Oh, 3 cards. 4 cards, right? 1, 2, 3 with the Inner Rage. That'll be 4 card draw total.
Yeah, let's see what he draws to let him survive.
He needs another Whirlwind, at least. He does have a coin.
Oh, not another whirlwind. So what can you
Oh,
clear
no.
here?
I. You can clear Molten Giants, and actually you end up okay.
Yeah, pretty surprising that he was able to clear the entire board. So now, actually, Zalae is in a bit of trouble here because he after Hellfire, which I think will definitely come here, obviously. He's gonna have to heal, I think, because if he doesn't,
Oh yeah,
there's like another combo coming from Kolento. Warsaw
there's a chance that your
Commander.
opponent will just be able to kill him,
Exactly.
which like will happen with the Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker, and Ghoul.
Yeah, so Kolento is essentially 10 mana next turn, so he can fit everything but the armor smith in. How much damage is that? So there will be 5 minions on board. Cruel Taskmaster is like at least 1 damage, and then the whirlwind effect and the hit. That's about. It's not enough for. Oh wow, Twilight Drake instead of
That will be enough now.
yeah instead of the anti heal bot. I was gonna say it's with the heal bot it wouldn't have been enough, but wow, Kolento he does it.
Yes. He also draws into Whirlwind just in case he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, I think this is actually even more damage here.
So, yep, that is it. Kolento takes the game, and Zalae goes down to loser's bracket.
Oh well, there is no losers bracket. Zalae is just,
wait, I thought this was the...
Well, this is the last chance bracket, which means if you're eliminated
Very
here,
true.
then you're out for the entire tournament. Meanwhile,
All right.
Kolento moves on, and he'll face off against his next opponent, who I believe is Kucha. Yeah, right there. So, Masan, I'm going to explain.
Sorry for the confusion.
I know you know what's going on here, Masan, but just to explain to the viewers once again, the winner between Kolento and Zalae, who is Kolento, will move on to face Kucha. The winner of that will move on to face Cypher, and the winner of that final match will move on to the finals in October. So, and in the finals, for a short recap, for the finals, there will actually be 6 players, and 4 of them have already been decided. They're going to be Tice, Standucci, Dog, and Stansifka. So a pretty stellar lineup of players. And we're going to have 2 players today who we'll find out. They'll join us in the finals in October. So a great game. Hassan, do you have any final thoughts about that series overall?
I think it just shows the strength of Kolento. Like the Zilla, like you said, despite being taken out on NA qualifier, he was the strongest NA ranked player, and Kolento ended up taking him down 3-1, pretty convincing win, except for the patron game up, which is Zilla's the strongest point.
Yeah, pretty good series. We're gonna take a short, I think about 10-minute break, and when we get back, we're gonna have Kolento versus Kucha. We'll see you then.
tainted eyes, consuming every power inside. A presence, a being, dying out.